Banisher's Ghost of New Eden is an action-adventure game that follows two ghost hunters who fight spirits while dealing with a tragic love story, and it creates a really emotional and immersive experience. The narrative is deep and gripping, with tough choices that actually impact the story, making you feel invested in the characters. The combat is fast-paced and fun, but it can get a bit repetitive after a while. The atmosphere and visuals are stunning, really bringing the eerie world to life. If you like story-driven games with emotional twists, it's definitely worth checking out. Stellar Blade is an action RPG set in a futuristic world, and it's all about fast-paced combat and exploring beautifully designed environments. The visuals are absolutely stunning, and the combat feels smooth and satisfying, especially with all the cool moves and combos you can pull off. I really enjoyed the boss fights, which were challenging but not unfair, and they kept me on my toes. However, the story felt a bit shallow and I didn't connect much with the characters, which was a little disappointing. Still, if you love action games with great visuals and fluid combat, it's definitely worth checking out. It's one of those games that's just fun to play even if the story isn't the strongest. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth is a turn-based RPG that tells an emotional story filled with humor, and it does an amazing job of balancing serious moments with laugh-out-loud comedy. The story is really engaging, and the characters are so charming and relatable that you get invested in their journey. The combat system is strategic and fun, although the pacing can slow down a bit in longer battles. But there's so much to do with all the side quests and minigames that the world feels really alive and exciting to explore. It's definitely a must-play if you're into story-rich RPGs. Stalker 2. Heart of Chernobyl throws you into a harsh and unforgiving world where survival is key. Explore the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, a place filled with dangerous mutants, deadly anomalies, and other stalkers, all competing for survival. You'll need to scavenge for supplies, manage your resources, and make tough choices to stay alive in this unforgiving environment. The game features a massive open world with dynamic weather and day-night cycles that create a truly immersive experience. Uncover the secrets of the zone, complete dangerous missions, and encounter memorable characters as you explore this atmospheric and captivating world. This game is not for the faint of heart, but if you're looking for a challenging and rewarding survival experience, this game is a must-play. I played Rise of the Ronin recently, and honestly, it felt like stepping into a wild samurai movie, where you get to decide everything. This is an open-world action game where you're a Ronin, a masterless samurai, and you're caught right in the middle of a big fight in Japan. The fighting is really cool. Like, you can switch between different sword styles, and it feels super smooth, but sometimes the story felt a bit all over the place, like it was trying to do too much. Exploring the world is fun, there's lots to see, but some of the side quests were a bit repetitive. You know, just go here, hit this, come back. Still swinging your sword and feeling like a badass Ronin, that's where this game really shines.
We have a great show for you here tonight. Alan Wake, one of my all-time favorite writers, and guests on the show.
Alan Wake 2 is a long-awaited follow-up that's worth the wait, especially if you're a fan of Remedy's past games like Control and Max Payne. It's a blend of single-player adventure, survival horror, and cinematic storytelling. Players control two characters, Saga Anderson, an FBI agent investigating eerie murders in a small town, and Alan Wake, trapped in a nightmarish version of New York. The game is challenging with limited resources, tense combat, and smart AI that keeps you on edge. Environments are beautifully designed, mixing creepy woods with atmospheric towns and surreal nightmare worlds. The flashlight mechanic adds tension, and the detective work in Saga's story is immersive. While newcomers may need some context, Alan Wake 2 excels with its thrilling gameplay, stunning visuals, and gripping narrative, making it possibly Remedy's best game yet.
Watch out! On it!
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is an action-packed fighting game that lets you relive all the epic battles from the Dragon Ball universe. And what I really like is how true it stays to the anime with all the flashy moves, destructible environments, and insane power-ups that make every fight feel just as intense as in the show. But even though the combat is fun and fast-paced, sometimes the controls feel a bit clunky, especially when you're trying to pull off complex combos. And while the character roster is massive, it feels like some characters don't have enough unique moves to stand out. But overall, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you're definitely going to enjoy this game.
The place is coming down!
Okay.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a big adventure game where you play as Indiana Jones, exploring cool places and finding ancient secrets. It's like being in your own indie movie. You get to use his whip, solve puzzles, and fight bad guys, which is really fun. The whip mechanics are surprisingly versatile, letting you swing, grapple, and even disarm enemies in creative ways. Sometimes, though, the puzzles can be a bit tricky, and some parts of the game feel a bit slow. But honestly, the feeling of exploring ancient ruins and finding hidden treasures is really exciting. Plus, the way the game captures the feel of the movies is really well done. Baldur's Gate 3 is a landmark in RPG gaming, blending incredible storytelling, tactical combat, and unmatched freedom of choice. Set in the vibrant Forgotten Realms, Larian Studios delivers a world rich in detail with unforgettable, deeply written characters and voice acting that brings them to life. The game offers unparalleled freedom. Your choices matter, from skipping battles with clever tricks to shaping your character from 29 sub-races and 12 diverse classes. Co-op multiplayer adds to the fun, letting friends tackle missions in inventive ways. Exploration feels rewarding at every turn. Whether discovering new lore-hidden loot or impactful side quest, Baldur's Gate 3 constantly surprises. Its three-act story spans lush wilderness, eerie landscapes, and a bustling city, each brimming with handcrafted, memorable experiences. Though Act 3 has some bugs, they pale next to the brilliance of the game. With its stellar narrative, layered characters, and polished presentation, Baldur's Gate 3 sets a new standard for CRPGs. A masterwork that's a must-play for any RPG fan. If you're enjoying the video and want to support a growing channel, then please do subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Let's move!
I played Dragon Age: The Veilguard recently, and it's an incredible RPG where you dive into a huge world full of magic, deep lore, and complex characters. The story is so well written that it kept me wanting to explore every corner and talk to every character. I really enjoyed the strategic combat, where you can mix spells and attacks to create powerful combos. The graphics look beautiful, and the voice acting is top-notch, bringing the characters to life. The only downside is that the pacing can feel slow at times, and some side quests are a bit repetitive. Still, it's an unforgettable journey that's definitely worth your time. It's just one of those games that stays with you long after you stop playing. Metaphor Refantazio is a turn-based RPG that throws you into a massive fantasy world filled with kingdoms, war, and some really cool characters. The combat is pretty deep, mixing classic turn-based strategy with fast-paced mechanics, and the art style is absolutely stunning. The world feels alive, with a lot of unique locations to explore, and some great music that fits every moment perfectly. But I will say, the pacing can feel a bit slow at times, especially in the early hours. Some of the UI could also be a little more user-friendly, but once you get into it, the game really starts to shine. If you love deep RPGs with a strong story and amazing visuals, this one is definitely worth checking out.
Mark this. He's not just any monkey. He's a monkey of merit.
Black Myth Wukong is an action RPG that dives deep into Chinese mythology, letting you play as the Monkey King with crazy, shape-shifting abilities and powerful magic. The combat is intense and feels really satisfying, especially when you master the dodges and counters. I was really impressed by how smooth the animations are, making every move feel impactful. Visually, the game looks stunning with its detailed environments and fluid animations, which make every fight feel epic. But some of the enemy encounters can feel a bit repetitive after a while. Still, the storytelling and unique setting keep you hooked. If you love challenging action RPGs, this one is definitely worth checking out. Elden Ring is a massive, challenging open-world RPG that combines difficulty with an expansive world that encourages exploration. Players take on the role of a Tarnished, journeying through a land filled with conflict, mysterious characters, and tough boss battles. The game offers deep customization, allowing players to build their character with a variety of classes and abilities. Combat is deliberate with new features like a jump button and guard counterattacks. The open world, accessible through a mount called Torrent, offers tons of secrets to discover. Although it can be difficult and at times frustrating, the game rewards curiosity and offers freedom to explore at your own pace. The visuals are stunning, though some minor performance issues exist, especially on PC. Overall, Elden Ring feels like a game-changing evolution in the RPG genre, offering something for both newcomers and veterans alike.
And they will die in an unending curse.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is an amazing action RPG that throws you into a huge open world filled with mythical creatures and dangerous quests where you can climb on monsters and really feel the impact of your attacks. You can create your own character and recruit companions called pawns to help you in battle, which adds a really cool layer of strategy to the gameplay. The combat is fast-paced and exciting with tons of different skills and abilities to learn and master. Plus, the world is just stunning with beautiful environments and a day-night cycle that makes it feel truly alive. While some of the quests can be a bit repetitive and the story can be a little confusing at times, Dragon's Dogma 2 is still an incredible adventure that any fan of action RPGs should definitely check out.
This may be a one-way ride, so be prepared, Leon.
Resident Evil 2 Remake is a terrifying and exhilarating reimagining of a classic. The updated graphics and gameplay make it feel like a whole new game while still staying true to the original. You play as either Leon Kennedy or Claire Redfield, each with their own unique story and encounters with iconic characters like Ada Wong and Sherry Birkin. The environments are incredibly detailed and atmospheric, drawing you into the survival horror experience. Get ready for some intense encounters with terrifying enemies like the Licker and Mr. X, who will stalk you relentlessly throughout the game. Resource management and puzzle solving are key elements, forcing you to think carefully about every bullet and every step you take. The tension is palpable as you explore the dark corridors and solve puzzles while trying to avoid becoming zombie chow. Whether you're a veteran of Raccoon City or a newcomer, prepare to be scared and thrilled by this masterpiece of survival horror. Resident Evil 2 Remake sets a new standard for the genre and is a must-play for any fan of horror games.